Welcome back, everybody. This week we're going to be talking about an overall health and wellness and really taking control of your life, finding a balance with it, and key instruments, key criteria that fall into that overall health. We're going to begin here with a quote. Health is a state of complete harmony of the body, mind, and spirit. When one is free from physical disabilities and mental distractions, the gates of the soul open. That's a lot what the lesson is going to cover of overall health and harmony of the body mind. Okay? So, wellness. What is wellness? The active and deliberate pursuit of spiritual, social, mental, emotional, and physical well being. We're going to talk about all those aspects. Now, many teenagers and young adults find that they have subscribed to many fitness and wellness myths that continually circulate. These myths may promote inaccurate conception about diet, nutrition, weight control, stress, or physical activity and exercise. So, there's a lot of myths out there to be aware of. But in this comprehensive health related PowerPoint that we're going through, you will encounter the recommendations that can reduce your risk for chronic disease and provide you with a long and healthy life. There are five leading causes of death in the U.S., and you can see them here: heart disease, cancer, stroke, cardiorespiratory disease, and diabetes. We've talked about these in some of our units and how dangerous they are, but ways that we can also help in avoiding them and what we can do now that will affect our future. And these five, they're known as chronic diseases. And unfortunately, chronic diseases are the most common of all diseases and also the most expensive to treat. So you can see some stats here that have happened in the years past and what they projected, which came true in 2012. So they're very expensive, but you can aid in avoiding these things. And we've talked about that, and we're going to continue to talk about that here. Here are some of the underlying causes of death in the U.S., things that you can avoid: tobacco, poor diet and inactivity, alcohol, and so forth. Notice how low these motor vehicles or things that we're afraid of are when the huge numbers of tobacco and inactivity and alcohol are. The top four causes of death in the U.S.: tobacco use, poor diet and inactivity, and alcohol abuse. These are all things that we can avoid, all things that we can do in our lives that will prevent us from having poor health or dying of these chronic diseases. Life expectancy in the beginning of the 20th century was 47 years. That is super low to what it is now. Major life threats were infectious diseases, which now we have control over. So that's great news. We're able to live longer. In the mid to late 20th centuries, infectious diseases eliminated with medical breakthroughs. So we have our antibiotics, we have our immunizations that will protect us from these things. So now with our technology, we're able to have a good life and extend our life expectancy. And we can also aid in that by choosing what we do with our lives, choosing what we eat, choosing how we are active and proactive with our life. Here again is more health problems. Look at these countries and the health expectancies. This is really more just for your information, but their expectancy, a lot of it has to do with healthy life living, and how they eat and how they are active. So just look at those for a second and think of where you can be and how you can assist in having a longer, healthy life. Lifestyle as a health problem. Over 50% of people who die in the US die because of what they do. 50%, that is huge. 1 in 2 people because of what they do. More than half of diseases is lifestyle related. Another huge important factor to why you choose today to have a healthy lifestyle. A fifth is attributed to the environment. A tenth is influenced by the health care or the individual receives, so poor health care. And then only 16% is related to genetics. So genetics does play, but it's a low percentage. The individual controls as 85% of vulnerability to disease and quality of life. Now, there's things sometimes you just can't avoid, but 85% of it is in your hands of what you do. 83% of deaths before the age of 65 are preventable. So choose what you're doing, learn these skills, and apply them in your life. This course is to help you learn skills to be proactive, skills, and the importance of applying a healthy lifestyle. I've given you ways to do that, and I've also shown you why it's so important to do that with the heart disease, with cancer, strokes, and so forth. Of why, huge incentives to why to increase a healthy lifestyle, increase your physical activity, and a proper nutrition in your life. Also, things to cut out like tobacco, smoking, alcohol consumption, things that you know to do. These are things to help you be successful. And if you can implement these skills in your life today, it's going to affect your future. Now, I want to talk about an overall wellness. Overall wellness is more than just exercise and diet. I want you to think of somebody that you think, you know what, they have a good life, they're happy, they're healthy. There are 7 components of wellness. There's the physical, there's an environmental, where we live is very important, social, occupational, intellectual, emotional, and spiritual. These 7 components are linked to contribute to an overall wellness, and a deficiency in one area could very well affect the other areas of our lives. So it's important that we have a balance in our whole life and what we do from day to day. Let's talk about them a little more in depth. Physical wellness is our ability to take care of ourselves in absence of disease, our body's overall condition. So our physical fitness, what we focus a lot on in this class, and our health management. Now, the environmental wellness is the capability to live in a clean and safe environment that is not detrimental to our health. So aware of our surroundings, aware of what we're doing, and taking personal responsibility in that. Our social is also one of the 7 components, and that's the ability to relate well to others, both within and outside the family unit. Relating well with others doesn't mean you have to be best friends with them, but you do relate, understand, and you engage in other wellness components. The next one is our occupational wellness, and this is the ability to perform one's job skillfully and effectively under the conditions that provide personal and team satisfaction and adequately reward each other and reward each individual. That is our occupational wellness. This is also an important skill. All of these are important to develop. Our intellectual wellness is a state in which one's mind is engaged in lively interaction with the surrounding world, also called intellectual wellness. So engage your mind. You have self-confidence. Develop this skill to create a healthy wellness. The final 2 is emotional wellness, and that's our ability to understand one's own feelings. Sometimes we just don't understand why we're so upset, but developing this wellness is very important in our lives. Accept our limitations and achieve emotional stability. This is always an ongoing achievement, ongoing process to create this wellness. As well as our spiritual wellness, this is a sense that life is meaningful, that life has purpose, and that some power bring all humanity together. Ethics, values, morals, this all plays into our spiritual wellness, that really life has a purpose. And all 7 of these, as we talked about before we went into detail, there needs to be a balance in all of them. And if we see discrepancy in one, it can affect all the other ones. So find ways. Go back and reevaluate yourself. Find ways to have a good balance in these areas. Here's some more health-related components that we have discussed that can help you be a well-balanced person: our cardiovascular endurance. This is the ability of the heart, lungs, circulatory system, and respiratory system to bring oxygen to the cells of the body, especially the working muscles that are performing the activity. Another component of our physical fitness of being healthy. And then there's muscular strength, which is the ability of a muscle or muscle group to exert maximum force against a resistance. These are a lot review of what we have talked about in the course. More review here is muscular endurance, flexibility, and body composition. Another way to become a well-balanced, a healthy individual. Remember these components, that all of them play a key in having our overall wellness. We talked about understanding how much to exercise. Don't overload ourselves. Make sure we're progressing, so we're not adapting, that our body continues to be healthy and strong. In taking on a training or exercise program, it is essential to be aware of these principles. We've talked about them. Make sure that you review them again and know where you are in having your overall health and wellness. Just to review, here's the definitions of them. Our specificity, training must be specific to the sport or activity. So whatever you're doing, it needs to be specific to that or your muscle groups. For example, a marathon runner, they do mostly endurance workouts, whereas swimmers exercise some specific muscles, so they focus the target areas. Overload, training must be raised to a higher level than normal to create the extra demands in which the body will adapt. This can be done in 3 ways. Increase the intensity, we've talked about lifting heavier weights, increase the frequency, so you're training more often, or increase the duration by training longer periods of time. These are all things to be specific with the activities that you are choosing and the lifestyle you want to live. Progression. As the body adapts to training, it progresses to a new level of fitness. To then take this to the next level, a gradual increase in intensity is needed to create an overload. Progression can be achieved by ensuring that there's 3 specific pathways that are followed: easy to difficult, general to specific, quality to quantity. So easy to difficult, you're increasing that, starting at one level and increasing it to a difficult. General to specific, so if you're going to work on certain muscle groups, you're being specific. You're starting to work on individual things. And then quality to quantity. It's always better to do your quality opposed to quantity. If you're not doing something right, then you're really not going to get the benefits of it. Now, reversibility, this is the effect of training are reversible. If exercise is reduced in intensity or even stopped, the benefit can be lost quickly. So, you can feel like you increase your time in a mile, but if you stop for a week, you'll notice that you have this reversibility effect. There's a deterioration that can start even after just 1 week. With strength, with speed, with endurance, this all can happen in just 1 week. Here's our adaptation, is how your body turns a new skill into second nature. How many of you, it's like riding a bike. It's hard at the beginning, but then it turns into second nature. After you practice, after you do it, you get stronger, you do better, you learn a skill, you get stronger, you get better. Individual differences tells us that each person has a different response to an exercise program. You're going to know yourself the best, and that's why this course is so great for each of you, because you're your own coach. You know your hereditary, you know your age, you know your fitness level, you know yourself, and you're able to assess that and apply these things into your individual well-being and your individual life. So Reflect on that. Find your overall wellness. You know how you like to be socially, you know how you like to be physically. Find that balance. Take control of your life and find that balance. Now, there are some skill related components that go to physical fitness, and these are more motor skills. One way to develop yourself as well here to have a good, well balanced, um, healthy lifestyle. You have coordination, speed, power, reaction time, balance, agility. These are all skill related fitness components that you can work on and that you can perfect through your activities and anything that you're doing. So you could focus on one area and then move on to the next so that you have a well balanced life and are always enjoying what you're doing. If you're a team sport, if you're an individual sport, if you are a sports player, each of these will come in. Even if you're not, you can develop all of these to your level of degree and continue to work on them as you develop new activities, you practice and exercise new things in your fitness program. We've talked about the FIT principle before. I just want to recap so that you know it's so important in your program. You have your frequency, how many days a week you're working, intensity, how hard, the type, the exercise that you've chosen, the time. This is so important. Make sure you are balanced. You must be balanced in your exercise and in your life to have that overall health. There are some environmental influences on physical activity as well. Be aware of that. Activity that uses 150 calories of energy per day, that's going to be about your moderate activity. It can prevent premature death, unnecessary illness, disability, and provide substantial health benefits. So you don't need to go out and be a superstar athlete or anything like that. Moderate physical activity is what we're looking for. That is something you're going to be able to sustain over a lifetime. And you'll see here that just by being active and proactive is going to be a huge part in your lifestyle. It's what you choose, it's the balance you choose. You need a balance or else you won't succeed. Make sure it is well balanced your whole life. It can't be one focus or else you won't be healthy, you won't be happy, and you will fail. Find the balance in your life. Once again, take control of these things we've discussed and find that balance. Here's some habits that can improve or extend your life. So look at these. What can you implement in your lifestyle? You exercise regularly, you're not smoking, you're eating right, you avoid snacking, you understand alcohol consumption, personal safety, and so forth. Look at these. These are ways that you can be balanced. We've talked a great deal about being balanced, and implementing these are habits that you can put in your lifestyle that will improve and extend your life. Other important factors are a healthy diet, managing stress. Your diet can affect the way you feel, it can affect the way your body looks, it can affect the way your body functions from day to day. What you put in your body is very important. Now, managing stress is also something that's very important. Physical activity is huge in this, and you can find activities that help you and relieve your stress even more. Locus of control. Now, what is locus of control? Locus means that you're in a certain place or a certain position or point. So if you have internal locus, where are you? Your belief in how much you can control of your own health. People that have an internal locus, where they stand, what they understand of their fitness and health, they're healthier people. They're more successful in adhering to exercise. They believe they have control over events in their lives, that things just aren't happening to them. They have control. They believe their health and their well-being are entirely dependent on their decisions, choices, and actions. We want to be internal locus people, okay? We want to be able to control. We want to have a position or a stand, or we have a point, a place where we believe that we have control over this. People with external locus, they usually feel powerless and vulnerable. They are great at risk for illnesses. They believe things happen by chance. They don't feel their actions make a difference, and they're less likely to take personal initiative to ensure good health and wellness. You have control over this. Where do you stand? What things can you implement to be internal locus, where you can control these things? Few people have completely external or internal locus, so once again, it's a balance. But knowing we have control and belief that we can have control of our own health and minds is very important. Changing your health related behavior, use small steps, okay? One little step at a time is all it takes. Find a behavior you wish to target. How is this behavior affecting your wellness today? How does this behavior put you at risk? How would your change affect your wellness? Examine the pros and cons of that change. Take control of your life. Go back, reflect, think of things that you can implement, think of things that you need to change, but do it in small steps. Don't over choose one thing or else you're going to fail. Do it small steps at a time and implement it into your life to have that overall healthy lifestyle. Here are some factors that can help affect your behavior and make you successful with the habits that you choose. Family, friends, peers, even the television, things that you see there, motivational things, your community, your country, your culture, your school. So many things can affect your behavior. They can affect them positively, and they can also affect them negatively. So reflect on those as well. Things that you want in your life and things that you shouldn't have in your life. Make a SMART goal. Go back, be specific, be measurable, be attainable, be realistic, be time constrained. We have talked about these. Another thing to make somebody a healthy person is to have goals. Go back and reevaluate your goals and make new goals on what you want to do now that you know more things, more skills that you can apply to be a healthy individual. And I want to finish this lesson with one quote. Take care of your body. It's the only place you have to live. What you choose today will affect your future. I've given you skills, concepts. Go back and review how you can implement them in your life. Take control of your life today. It will affect your future substantially.